Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3. So in this one, we're going to go ahead and create another really small step or another small part of the program. So what I want to do is I want to create the valuable variables that are essentially, are going to hold the user score or the computer score. So if you remember, we did create our deal card function, which is going to hand out the cards, and then we created the calculate score, which is going to essentially add up all the values. So now we need to actually get those values, use this function essentially to get those values and add them up together. All right. So again, it's going to be a really short one, but I just want us to go in small steps. So one of the things I want to do here is actually I want to move this to the top, because one of the things that I want you to remember when you're creating a Python program is that at the top, you're obviously going to have your import functions, right? All the functions that you're going to import essentially. The next one, you want to have the functions that you're defining, the user-defined functions at the top, because this is going to allow you to have use this function throughout the code. For example, if I actually have this function here, if I want to use this function, I'm not going to be able to use it right here in the middle of the code. I have to use it right below, right? So that's why the best practice is actually just to have the functions at the top, the user-defined functions at the top, so that way your code is going to be much more cleaner, right? So just like that, I just moved it to the top and we are ready to go. So what I'm going to have, as you see, I commented out everything here. So it's just going to make it easier for you to understand when you access the final code. Anyway, so with that being said, one of the things I want to do is I want to define a variable first. Okay, I'm going to call this user score. And we're going to use the function that we created, right? There you go, our calculate score function. I'm going to drop it right here. And I'm going to have the user cards. So essentially what we're doing here is that we're telling this, hey, this is the new variable that we want, and use this function that we created here and get the cards, the user cards, and give me the total value of it. And if you remember, the user cards are actually being defined here, right? We're appending random cards, so these lists are not going to be empty by the time we get here, right? So we start with an empty list, but because we actually use this for loop to add random cards to the list, they're not empty anymore. So we're just getting the final user score, right? Another thing I want to do is I want to do the same thing for the computer score. I'm just going to call it computer score, and we're going to say calculate score, same thing, and we're going to have computer cards in this case. There you go. So just like that, we have two variables that are going to give us the total value of the computer cards or the the user cards. So just like that, we have that. The next thing I want to do is I want to see if the user score is 0 and the computer score is 0. And if that's the case, we're going to end the game. Now that's really, really important, because if you remember in the calculate score, we had this thing, where was this? There you go. So we had this thing where we said if someone reaches 21 immediately, whether it's the user or the computer, if we reach 21 immediately, we need to end the game. So right, so because that's they win essentially, right? So with that being said, what we need to do is we need to figure out if that's the case or not. All right, and we need to have a system to end the game. And if you remember, we use the for loops, while loops to do that as well. So we need to have a Boolean value that is going to be true while the game is not running. All right, so again, that's how we define it. So I'm just gonna run this here. I'm gonna explain it as I write it. So I'm gonna say if user score, we're just gonna copy it, it's better equals 0, or computer score equals 0, or okay, or we're gonna say or user score, there you go, bigger than 21, we're going to say is, and we're going to define this game over equals true. So just like that, we basically set the game variable over to true if any of these functions are met. All right. So one of the things that I think I forgot here was that or computer score equals 21 as well, or over 21. Over 21. There you go. So if any of these conditions are met, we're going to change the is game over. We're going to define this variable. We just defined it, and we're going to set it to true, right? So that's basically what we did. All right. So just like that, we did that. Now let's actually take a look at this and see if our program is working so far, because we really haven't tested anything yet. So I'm going to print a few things. All right. So I'm just going to say print, and we're going to use an F string, and we're going to say, let's see, your cards are, and we're going to say user cards. Let's see, there you go. There you go. So those are our cards, and current score, and let's get our current score as well. So let's see, user score, that would be that, right? Here we go. So I just want us to like kind of look at least what we have here, right? So we're going to say print another one. We're going to use an F string, and we're going to say computers first card. And again, like the idea is that if you remember when we were talking about blackjack rules, we actually are going to see only the computer's first card, right? So I'm just going to say computer cards, and let's just draw this right. Computer cards, and we're going to use the 0 index, which is going to give us the first number of that list, right? The first value of that list. So just like that, we can actually print this. Let's actually run this real quick and see how it works. There you go. So we got your cards are 2 and 9, your current score is 11, computer's first card 5. So again, we got something going on. So that works. All right. So just like that, this is just something I wanted to get done. Hopefully you made sense, guys. Again, I moved the calculate score to the top because we want to like have our function at the top. That way we can use it throughout the code easier. But yeah, so like just like that. And then what we did was we define a user score variable, and found out what's the user score based on the cards that we have so far, and then did the same thing for the computer, right? Calculate score function, we called that, and then we used the computer cards and like added up everything, and then we printed to just see exactly what do we have to just check. We're gonna get rid of this obviously, but yeah. So and then we define if the user score is equal 0, or the computer score is 0, or user score is bigger than 21, or computer score is bigger than 21, game over is true. So that's something we're going to be using later on as well in a while loop. All right. Again, we'll use this later, but I just wanted to define it right now. But let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this made sense. I'm going to comment this out of the video, so as you see this, it's going to make more sense later on when you access the code. But let me know how you did, and let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'll see you in the next video.